Hello everybody, we're back today with another what I eat in a day as a fat person reaction, and we're just going to get straight into it.
Everything I ate today as a fatty. Jump scare. Look, we're a little tired this morning, so this is what you get. My husband made me.
That was a lot of creamer to start the day with. I don't know what type it is. I don't drink creamer. I don't even know if we have that in the UK. But I think creamer is pretty calorically dense, and I think a serving is like 50 milliliters. That was way more than 50 milliliters. That was probably 100 to 150 mils, which could very easily be 200 calories depending on what you're actually, what type of creamer you've got. So that's just something to be very mindful of in the mornings. You're better off with like black coffee or coffee with like a little bit of, say, skim milk or normal milk with flavor drops or something like that. But I know it can be tasty. And these pancakes look pretty nice. But again, it's not the best way to start the morning just because of the sugar content and the fact that it's going to make your blood sugar spike and then crash, and you're going to be craving food all day.
Ate the red velvet pancakes for breakfast. So we're having some pumpkin protein yogurt.
Pumpkin protein yogurt sounds quite nice, and I don't know what type of crackers she's added with it, but I imagine that's a nice addition, though be mindful with crackers and how many you actually eat in a serving, because servings are usually pretty small.
It's lunchtime. And yeah, we got chicken tendies. I also have garlic parmesan cauliflower wings on the side.
That does look like quite a nice lunch, to be fair. There's a lot of sauce that she's added onto it. I don't know if it's ranch or just like some normal like salad dressing or something, but that does look pretty nice, and it's a really good idea to have the like lettuce boats as opposed to like a bread bun. And the cauliflower bites that she's got also look pretty nice, but they're deep fried, so it's not the best choice. But given that her main part of her meal looks pretty good minus the fried chicken, you could just have like normal seasoned chicken breasts without the batter on the top. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. It's not the best choice in the world, but it's also not the worst.
They're actually pretty good.
Her makeup is really pretty.
She's drinking water. For dinner, we have a burger and some sweet potato fries.
That does look like a homemade burger, and the fries are probably frozen, but that's neither here nor there, because fries are fries, they're potatoes still, so... But having a homemade burger, if that's what that is much better than getting one from the store. One thing that could be quite nice would be to add some more like lettuce or salady things into the burger, just to make it a bit more filling and tasty. Or you could have that as a side salad instead of just having the fries. But it's definitely a better choice than getting it as a takeaway meal.
She's loaded with the grilled onions.
It does look insanely greasy though. You can see the grease on her hands.
Crunchy.
Not the worst day in the world, but also not the best. She could have replaced a few of the fried things with something not fried. That would just be a nice kind of swap out if she was looking for options like that. But overall, it could have been much worse. She's not had takeout 3 times a day, which some of the women in these videos do have, so that's good to see.
Hey besties, here's what I ate in a day as a fat person who doesn't spend their whole life worrying about what they eat and losing weight. And this is a realistic what I eat in a day. So I woke...
I think her starting intro is a bit sad in a way, because she's claiming to be quite content in her size, which is more power to her. There's no reason why she should be ashamed or anything like that. If you're happy and you're happy, that's great. But you don't have to be consistently thinking about food or like losing weight or being healthy or anything like that. It's not something that you should be consistently thinking about. It shouldn't occupy your mind all day. And you can still enjoy nice food by making healthy choices. So you don't have to just be completely balls to the wall eat whatever you want, whenever you want, all the time. So there is a time and a place for that sort of behavior, but you can also still make really good choices and have really tasty food and be happy and enjoy food and be a big foodie without needing everything to be unhealthy and kind of like stating that like, here's what I eat in a day as a fatty who's not consistently thinking about losing weight. That seems like she's kind of trying to stick it to us, but her food choices only affect her, and it seems quite aggressive to come out of the bat like that, but which could be a defense mechanism, but we'll just see what she's doing. But starting the day with frozen waffles. Obviously, I don't know what the ingredients are on the waffles, but they probably came in a box rather than being homemade and then frozen. So they're probably full of preservatives and sugar. So again, we're starting the morning with sugar is just not the best option in the world, but she might add some protein and fruit. So we'll just see what she's doing.
Woke up and got ready for breakfast. I just had some frozen waffles. I've really been craving them lately and they just hit the spot every time. So I popped those in the toaster and then I got my coffee started. I put my multivitamins next to my coffee maker so I remember to take them, and it works. And I'm a gummy girly for life. Don't come at me. I made a ice.
One thing to note about multivitamin gummies is that they're a lot harder to get the dosing accurate. So if you've got a multivitamin that's a gummy, if it says on the packet that it's got 10 micrograms, I don't know, of calcium, then the amount of calcium that you're getting from one gummy to the next may not be as consistent as you'd get in a tablet. But if you're not somebody that handles tablets well, gummies are a good enough option, but just be mindful there are a lot of kind of scammy multivitamins out there that don't actually provide any benefit to you, and they cost a fortune and they're not really doing anything, so you're just getting filler. So just be mindful of that. When you're looking at multivitamins, you're much better off talking to your doctor and seeing if you actually need them, rather than just buying something that's got loads of sugar in it and tastes nice like a multivitamin gummy.
Caramel latte, and then I flipped the waffles around to make sure they get coated and toasted, what the freak ever, on both sides. And I also cooked another one because who in the heck only eats 2 waffles? That doesn't make any sense.
I imagine 2 waffles is a portion, and a portion may even be 1 waffle. And having just the waffles with some kind of syrup.
And I would have had 4, but there was only 6 left in the pack, and I wanted to have 3 for next time. But anyways, if you've watched me for a long time, you know that I'm a dipper. I don't want the crusty, dusty syrup all up on my hands, so that's...
Yeah, just having the waffles with the syrup is like sugar on sugar, which is not the best choice in the world. What she could do instead is have 2 of the waffles, not 3, and then add a side of like strawberries or blueberries, or even something like an egg or 2 eggs or something like that, which would just make it more filling, but you can still enjoy the waffles with the syrup. And if you are being mindful of losing weight or being healthier, she says she's not, so more power to her. But if that is something that you're being mindful of, weighing out the syrup is quite important too, because syrup is very tasty. It's like honey. Honey is delicious. I love honey. And I can eat it with a spoon if I am completely out of control. But yeah, you should probably weigh stuff like that because it can hit your system really hard if you have too much.
Why I choose to dip instead of eating it with well, I guess I could eat it with a fork and it wouldn't get on my hands, but whatever. The coffee hit, the waffles were good. Also, Bestie Allie keeps her syrup in the fridge. I didn't know that was a thing. Growing up, we never put our syrup in the fridge, so let me know what you do. Anywho's it's time for...
We keep honey, and we don't have syrup very often, to be honest, but we keep honey in the cupboard. I don't know if that's the same as syrup. I would assume so. I would imagine we would keep syrup in the cupboard too.
Lunch now. I got my life together. I put clothes on. And when I tell y'all this has been my I'm sorry, what was that? When I tell you this has been my hyperfixation for the last week, I have genuinely eaten this like 5 days in a row now. If you follow me on Instagram...
Toasted ravioli. I didn't know you could get toasted ravioli. And 4 cheeses. Does sound nice, but it doesn't sound very balanced. So we'll just see what she's adding to this to make it more of a more nutritious and filling meal, because I imagine toasted ravioli isn't going to fill her up very much, because I mean pasta doesn't fill me up and I don't eat it very much anyway because it makes me feel poorly, but I imagine that she's going to need something else to make her feel full, otherwise she's going to be very snacky after this.
Instagram, you've seen that I'm obsessed with the toasted ravioli from Aldi, so I put that in the air fryer, and while that's cooking I make my sub in a tub. I'm like 3 months late for this, but once I started eating it I cannot stop. Y'all were here with me for my first video, and now I make it daily. I got a new chopper. It's in my Amazon storefront if you care. But this combination literally sends me out of the bot. It's an out bot. I have an irrational fear that I have a brain tumor. So sometimes whenever I go off like that, I'm like, maybe it's my brain tumor. But anyway, this meal sends me into orbit as an out-of-body experience. But yeah, I just feel so good after I eat it. It doesn't feel like I had like deep fried food. It just smells so fresh. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And
This salad so far is looking amazing. Or hands up to it, it looks really good. I love big salads like this. I tend to go crazy with the lettuce, so I might like have like half a lettuce in a serving just because I have no self-control around it. I think it's so tasty. And yeah, adding like the gherkins or the cucumbers or whatever they are is also really nice. A nice other thing that you can add to salads like this is like raw carrots or raw onion. It's a nice one to add as well, and tomato and stuff like that, whatever you like. And that's a really cool thing about salads, is you can customize them to your preference.
shout out to Aldi, man. It's not an ad. Aldi.
And Aldi is amazing. We have Aldi's here in the UK, and they are definitely one of the best supermarkets in terms of getting like British owned produce. So they have a lot of British meats and British vegetables. I would assume in America the Aldis there are pretty similar in terms of you get a lot of like American grown food. So Aldi is really good for that sort of stuff, especially here anyway.
If you want to sponsor me, what's up? And yes, I eat off the floor. It's my house. It builds up the immune system. But
I'd have washed it, to be honest, and I still would have eaten it, but I would have rinsed it at least under the sink.
Aldi's been killing it with everything, and it's so cheap.
Also, be mindful of putting your fingers in jars, and this isn't a critique on the food or anything like that, but if you've got something like gherkins or if you've got pickled onions or anything like that, it's best not to shove your fingers into the liquid that the vegetable is sitting in, because you can introduce bacteria, and then if you're fermenting things or things are sitting in bacteria, you can get very sick very fast. So you're better off using a clean fork or a clean tongs to get food out. And this looks like it is the end of the jar, so okay. But if you are going to be going back into it or putting the jar away, don't use your fingers. Even if they're clean, just use something else.
I spent like $20 on all these supplies, if that, and they just last me. Ugh, so good. So I put everything that I would put in a sub: lettuce, cucumber, ham, cheese. That sometimes sticks, but whatever. And banana peppers, mayo as the dressing, salt and pepper. I know it's plain, but
that is a lot of mayo, and I didn't say if it was like full fat mayo or light mayo, but the calories in mayonnaise are insane. And if you can get a light mayo, in my opinion, they taste pretty similar, especially if you're adding it to a big salad like this. So something that she could do better, or not better, but differently, would be to add a light mayonnaise or something more like a Caesar salad dressing. That's more kind of like a vinaigrette rather than like a heavy fat-based sauce.
it's so, I cannot tell you how good it is. And yes, I eat half the bag.
I must admit, those raviolis don't look very appetizing to me personally. They look kind of bland, but she likes it, so like, again, more power to her. And that salad does look really good, so
Ravioli, please leave me alone. So I ate my lunch while I watched Real Housewives. I'm on season 12 of New Jersey. It is so good. And you could just see the light come back into my eyes after the first bite of it. I don't know what it is. I make it. I don't put crack in it. It's just the most satisfied food. For dessert, I had a cutie little cookie with the icing. They're the best. Then I went on an afternoon walk, and when I came back, I ate the Trader Joe's apples that I got with some peanut.
were they sliced apples in a bag? But also that sugar cookie, I imagine it is a sugar cookie. I've never had one, but to me they look so sickly. Just like looking at it, the colour of it, it looks just terrible to me. I think it would give me indigestion, but I don't actually know what that is. I've not seen it before, but I think that would give me indigestion. I think that would make me terribly ill.
For dessert, I had a cutie little cookie.
I've never seen sliced apples in a bag before. That's kind of crazy. I've never seen that ever in this country. We just buy kind of like apples and you cut them yourself. But it's pretty cool that you can buy a bag of sliced apples. I think I would sit there and eat the whole thing. I love apple, and I could very easily eat all of those apples with some peanut butter. It would be a mess, but I could very easily do that. But that is so cool that you can buy stuff like that.
With the icing, they're the best. Then I went on an afternoon walk, and when I came back, I ate the Trader Joe's apples that I got with some peanut butter. It was so good, sour at first, but wow. It was so good that I got another thing of peanut butter, which, like, of course I could have just used it out of the jar, but that's no fun. There's the satisfying look of a fresh thing of peanut butter.
Peanut butter is very calorically dense because it is made out of nuts, which are very high in fat. Delicious, but something to be very mindful of. And the fact that it was a serving, it tells you that this is a serving. Once you've finished your serving, then you're done, sort of thing. So to get a second one of something as calorically dense as peanut butter is not the best idea, even though it contains like protein and healthy fats and all of that. But it's not the best decision. But I do understand, because apples with peanut butter is really good.
Butter. And Cosmo knows peanut butter. He's just sitting there like, Mom, I
sweetie.
want it. But he normally doesn't even beg because he doesn't have people food. But then for dinner after that, I had a buffalo chicken pizza that I got from Aldi a couple days ago, and I just nuked it. It was really spicy.
That looks pretty sad to me. It doesn't look tasty at all. It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like pizza anyway, so that could be why. But that just looked really sad.
For some reason.
Like, no
and I
lettuce
took my
or
walk
anything.
so late, I didn't get to have my afternoon smoothie, so I ate it as kind of like a dessert. It's literally just frozen mango, pineapple, all that junk with tropical juice, and it tastes just like you get it at a smoothie plate. I ran out of fruit though, which is why I had a small smoothie. But Cosmo looked like he was interested.
That smoothie does look really tasty. I love a smoothie, but because they are so high in sugar, even though it is natural sugar and not refined sugar, they can also spike your blood sugar. So it's good that she's having it at the end of the day as a dessert. But I often used to have smoothies and green smoothies very early in the morning after I went to the gym. But yeah, it looks really tasty. It's a shame about the dinner. It did look a bit sad. There was no like side salad or anything, but yeah, it's not too bad.
So I drank my little smoothie and that was it for today. I can't guarantee I won't go eat some chocolate after this. But I don't care, I eat what I want. Love you, bye!
Fair enough.
What I eat in a day as a fat girl. Pizza skull.
That pizza skull looks really cool. Like the shape of it is really nice. I think I've seen the molds for those. Like to buy them. I think they're from Nordic Wear. And it does look really big though, and very, very full of the cheese, if that cheese pull is anything to go by. So I imagine that's probably 500 calories that she's having very early in the morning. But there's nothing wrong with having non-breakfast food for breakfast. I used to have jacket potatoes for breakfast all the time. It just filled me up and it was tasty. So
Morning, breakfast is in the oven. I am
Oh.
starting the day with a sugar-free macadamia nut latte.
very nice.
Oh, that's good.
I wonder if the whipped cream on top is sugar-free as well.
I have an onion bagel with light probiotic cream cheese and 2 pieces of bacon.
Sounds pretty good. Bagels are really good, and they're really easy to make as well. I made some bagels, I think 2 days ago, and they're very, very tasty. And it was actually really quite easy, much easier than making bread, in my opinion. But yeah, it looks pretty nice.
I am having some of the chocolate strawberry banana bread that I made. And it's literally delicious. I know that because I've already had it.
That looks like very full banana bread, but it looks like it's got like blueberries and strawberries in it, as well as chocolate chip. And that is a thick slice of banana bread, and I like to bake, so I bake banana bread quite often. And you usually use very ripe bananas, which are very high in sugar, and it's a cake, so again, it's a lots of sugar. And I've never seen anybody dip cake into milk, but I've seen a lot of people on these videos dip donuts into milk, so I don't know if that's like an American thing to do that, but certainly a choice to do it. And it's definitely a choice to have banana bread, which is a cake, really, in the morning. And she didn't say if this was part of her breakfast, but I would assume so. But it's not the best breakfast in the world, but I understand that it is pretty popular to have that in the morning. Does look good, to be
so
fair.
chocolatey. Lunch, I have zucchini fries and homemade pizza. This is a pizza that I prep and just keep in the freezer. And then I also have some homemade ranch.
That looks pretty good, to be fair to her. And the fact that it's homemade is great. And the zucchini fries. Zucchini is good. And the fact that she's like prepped the pizza and then frozen it, that's a really nice way of managing your intake of stuff if you do like things like pizza. And you can do the same with burgers, or if you like what they call the McDonald's egg muffin things that you get in the mornings, McMuffins, I don't know, but they're very easy to prep as well. You just get the English muffin, and then you can cook whatever you want to put inside them. So if you want to go for eggs and sausage, then you can just make that, and then you can just wrap it up in like grease-proof paper and put it in the freezer. Then you've always got something very easy to hand that you've made, so you know what's in it. So having frozen stuff like that in the freezer that you've made yourself is fantastic. It's a really good idea, and like, yeah, she's doing really, really well for making stuff like that. It's really cool.
It's so good. Cotton candy grape,
Very nice.
sugar-free whip.
Also very nice. Though I've never had grapes or any fruit with whipped cream. It's a bit odd to me, but it does look good. So yeah, nice choice.
She's been in and out of the hut. I made my girlfriend and I buffalo chicken egg rolls.
Very nice. I don't really know what that is. I don't know if is it chicken, did she say? I don't know. I don't know if this is like a snack or anything, because she's just had grapes as a snack, so this might just be a continuation of that. And yeah, it looks fine. It's not the best. Again, it's like it looks deep fried, but I assume she's cooked it in the air fryer. So there are better options, but again, she's had a pretty good day in terms of like balancing things out. So it's not too bad. It would have been nice to add some like side salad or something to it though. I love a side salad.
Tonight I made honey barbecue brisket, green beans, and mac and cheese.
That's a lot of mac and cheese, but it looks really nice, and the greenery is also very nice to see as well. Not my kind of meat, but it looks nice.
Gotta have the greens. I thought I was fat, but I'm just now cutting into the 100K celebration cake from 2 days ago.
Oh, congratulations
I
to her.
filmed it 2 days ago, but I think I posted it yesterday. So let's try it. It's actually pretty moist.
Very nice. Congratulations to her to making 100K. That's really cool.
Ignore that bite.
She likes milk. Do Americans often drink like cups of milk? I don't see that here. I think that's a bit odd for an adult to do. Generally, children drink milk and then you kind of grow out of it. But no shade to her or anything. I'm just curious if that's quite common in America, because I've seen a few people now drink straight cups of milk, like in the US, and it just seems odd to me. I add milk to tea and that's about it. It's the only time I ever touch milk, really. But overall, that day was pretty good. Like, she made a lot of homemade stuff. She had her little cake celebration. And, yeah, looked pretty solid, to be fair.
This is what I eat in a day as a fat girl.
That's a lot of sugar.
Good morning. Today we're having...
I don't know if what she shows, because she did this in the last video as well with the pizza skull. I don't know if the first thing that she shows is her, like, pre-breakfast snack, or if she's just showing a clip, but I'm going to assume that she had it for breakfast before this actual meal. So that's not the best way to start your day, because it's just pure sugar. You're much better off having an actual meal and then seeing if you want a sweet treat at the end of the day, but you don't always need a sweet treat. So it's her choice, but she can do what she wants, but it's not the best choice in the world to make that early in the morning.
cheesy eggs and hickory rub bacon.
Cheesy egg sounds nice though. I'd like to know how many eggs, because it looks like a lot of eggs, and that's no slight, because eggs are one of the best foods ever in my opinion. They're so delicious and they're so good for you. I went through a phase of eating about 6 eggs a day. Delicious, but I've reined that in. But yeah, look, breakfast looks pretty good. It doesn't
The
look
best water. Honestly, if I had apple or orange juice,
it doesn't look like the kind of bacon we have here. We tend to have thicker bacon. I don't know what it's called. I don't like it. But yeah.
I'd be drinking that.
What did she say?
For lunch, I'd be drinking that. The best water. Honestly, if I had apple or orange juice, I'd be drinking that.
The only thing with like apple and orange juice is that when they make it into a juice, they take out all the fiber, which is like the good stuff in the fruit. So she is much better off drinking the water than drinking a fruit juice, because you may as well just be drinking like a can of Coke. Yes, it's got more vitamins and stuff in it, and like vitamin C and stuff like that, but it is like straight sugar, and they have removed the fiber, which is the good thing about the fruit. So you're much better off having a glass of water or having a bottle of water and eating the fruit, even though apple juice is the superior juice. It is so good, but it's not something to have every day.
For lunch today, I just made these little taco boats.
Looks delicious. Looks really good.
Having a little bit of raspberry tea. I made homemade pasta with feta. Don't judge me on the portion size. I tried the little trick where you like put the amount of pasta in and that's the amount that you cook. Well, I filled this bowl up about here. If you ever do that, don't forget that the pasta like blows up, so you actually end up with a whole bowl.
Yeah, pasta does expand a lot, and that is a massive portion of pasta. Rather than putting it in the bowl and just seeing how much you want in the bowl, you're much better off weighing it out in like grams, because then you can actually see what a portion is. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have, including myself, that a portion of food is generally a lot smaller than you think it is, especially when it comes to things like pasta and like breads and spreads and sauces and all that kind of stuff. It is generally a lot smaller. Like cereal, a portion of cereal is 30 grams, which is like next to nothing. So she would be much, much better off next time weighing it out and then seeing how much it is, like how much a portion of pasta is in this bowl, for example, because that could easily be 2, 3, 4 portions of pasta, and she doesn't know. And she does seem to be trying to be mindful of what she's eating. So that is something that she could maybe improve on, or just thinking about implementing into her life, even if she only does it once, just to get a kind of idea in her mind what an actual portion is.
Anyway, I also made Texas toast with turkey pepperoni.
Her toast looks good as well. This girl seems to be pretty good at making
I
good
have my
food.
raspberry tea from earlier.
It doesn't seem to be the healthiest in the world, but the fact that she's making it home is a really good thing.
Here is what I eat in a day as a happy fat woman. I am fat. I am happy about it. I'm not trying to lose weight, and nothing you say will make me feel that way about myself.
Again, this is like the woman that we saw earlier. It just seems kind of, I don't know, it's sad. They seem so defensive about it, because if you were generally, like, genuinely happy about being a fat woman, in her words, then you wouldn't need to say, like, I'm a fat woman, I'm happy, I'm not trying to lose weight, and nothing you can say will change my mind. Again, it's nothing that we can do to make her change her mind. She'll reach that point when she reaches that point on her own. But nobody cares either that she's like a fat woman. She's only affecting herself in terms of the joint pain and the health issues that she's going to suffer. They're only going to be given to her. But it's odd that she's so defensive about it. I find that unusual, to be honest, because no one cares.
This rant is not over, but I was
In the greatest of respect, no one cares.
in Massachusetts for work, and so I had some hotel breakfast. I had a little breakfast burrito with some eggs, potatoes, cheese, a little salsa, little potatoes on the side. I have done a lot of
The breakfast wasn't too bad. Like, she had the side of, is chobani, is that yogurt with fruit, and then the burrito thing. It's not the best option. Again, you could have some like lettuce or onions or tomatoes or something in there. But yeah, it's not the worst choice. And she's in a hotel, so beggars can't be choosers. So she gets what she gets, really. But if you want to be mindful, if you're in a hotel, then you can like pack your own stuff, or you could go for more fruit. Obviously, we don't know what the options were, if this was just what was provided, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
burrito with some eggs, potatoes, cheese, a little salsa, little potatoes on the side. I have done a lot of work to listen to my body and give it what it wants, and
The body doesn't always know what it wants, and if you're as big as this woman is, you've overridden what your body needs. So her saying that she's learnt to give the body what it wants and what it needs, her signalling in her body isn't going to be correct, because she spent so much time overriding that by overruling kind of like hunger cues and fullness cues, that the body's going to be craving what it's used to. So if you have a diet that's high in processed foods or fast food, that's what your body is going to be craving. It doesn't need it. You don't need chocolate in your life. You don't need processed sugar. It's the same way an alcoholic will crave alcohol. The body doesn't need alcohol, it wants it. But just because your body wants something, it doesn't mean you should give it to it. It doesn't mean it's healthy for you. And she should want to lose weight, not to attack this woman. I do hope she's happy in her life and her choices, but she should want better for herself than joint pain, the future health issues she is bound to get if she's not already got them. And it's no fun to be super morbidly obese. You can't do what you want to do. You can't go where you want to go. And it's just bad for you. You should love yourself enough to want to do better for yourself. So it's a shame that she's kind of content in how she is when she could have a much more healthy and active lifestyle, it would just be more fun for her, and she could still do whatever she wanted, but it would be less painful and less hard. So
needs. In the ages of Ozempic, that's not going to change. For lunch, I had the rest of my little breakfast leftovers.
and you don't need Ozempic to lose weight. Ozempic is a tool. It's not like a quick fix, so you can't just think that you're going to go on Ozempic, change no habits, and then lose weight. But also, people who use Ozempic are not telling fat people that they aren't good enough. That's not what they're doing when they use it. They're only caring about themselves, and rightfully so. You should do what is best for you, and if what is best for you is to take Ozempic, then take it if you can. But other people taking Ozempic is not a slight on this woman here, so it's a bit odd to say that.
After all 3 performances were done for the day, I decided to have a little Easter candy treat.
Is that all her snacks? Goodness me, that is a lot of snacks for a single person. She's on a work business trip. She's not going to be there for very long. Did she say what this was?
Wants and it needs. In the ages of Ozempic, that's not going to change. For lunch, I had the rest of my little breakfast leftovers. After all 3 performances were done.
That's a ghastly amount of sweets and chocolate. Oh my goodness. If that is for the whole work crew, like, okay. But if that's just for her, that's distressing in the quantity of sugar and sweets that she took to a work conference. That's crazy. That is completely unnecessary. Your body does not want or need any of that. It may want it, doesn't need it.
Done for the day, I decided to have a little Easter candy treat because I can. Don't earn.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that there, those 4 little chocolate things are what, 300, 400 calories? Potentially more, because that Reese's egg cup thing, is that like a chocolate egg full of peanut butter? Because that is going to be insanely high in calories, I would imagine. Goodness me.
Food, you can have food. And I had a little smorgasbord of.
Yes, you don't need to earn food, of course not. Nobody is saying that you need to earn food. And the fact that she's kind of saying that is, again, a bit odd. It seems very defensive and nobody said anything. It's like she's defending her choices before people that haven't even seen them. So she's defending the choices to an audience that she's recording the video for that haven't then seen it when she's recording it, if you know what I mean. But I think it speaks to something inside of her that she feels the need to make so many justifications for what she's doing. So I think to some level she knows that people are going to be saying, like, you don't need that, or that's unnecessary, which it is. But I think she knows in her mind, like in the reality that is in her head, she knows that she shouldn't necessarily be eating this. Of course, if it's just a treat, one-off, if it is just on Easter, it's not a problem. But by the looks of her, no offence meant to her, you can tell that this is quite a consistent thing that she does. And by the size of that bag of sweets, it wouldn't surprise me if she had this multiple times in this day and just didn't show it. Because that's the thing with these videos, you can't be sure that they're not eating off the camera, which I imagine a lot of them do.
Sweet. I make these videos because I think it's fun and
More
silly
chocolate.
and goofy. I have a great time. I like sharing what I eat in a day. Also, so happy to be the positive representation that I wish that I had.
That is not positive representation. Positive representation would not just be accepting negativity in the form of being unhealthy and having these unhealthy habits, because nothing that she's eaten today is a display of self-care at all. Of course, sometimes having treats is a form of self-care and it is nice to have, but you don't need 5 chocolate bars in one single sitting. That's ridiculous. I don't know how she doesn't feel sick after all of that refined sugar and fat. But that's not positive representation at all. Positive representation would be to have a balanced diet with balanced meals where you can have 80% really good whole foods and then 20% not so whole foods or chocolates or whatever. You can have 1 chocolate or 2 chocolates in the day. You don't need 5. That's ridiculous. That is not positive representation at all. That is just representation that fits your narrative. She wants to see this sort of food because this is what she eats. So she probably benefits a lot from these people that do what I eat in a day as a fat person content, because they all eat very similar foods. It's all processed, it's all sugar, and it's all carbs, and it's all fats. So she probably does enjoy the positive reinforcement, but they're all going to have, if they continue on this path, they're all going to have the same health issues, the same joint pain, the same back problems. I think it's wild that she said this is positive. It's not. It's just reinforcing bad habits. And I think that's sad that she thinks that this is positive representation.
Of a plus size fat person when I was a kid. Okay, end rant. I had
There can be positive representation of fat people, like fat people taking control of their health. You can still, again, as I said earlier, you can still eat whatever you want, but in moderation. It's like, this is a massive bowl of food, and it doesn't matter that it's like vegetables, like the guacamole, that's very high in calories because it's avocado. It's got like a salsa thing on the top. That is an insane amount of food with the like the tortilla chips at the bottom and stuff. That's probably what, 1,000 calories. And this is not positive representation at all, because I mean, there's nothing to say that fat people can't be happy. Of course they can. But just because you're happy and you're content in your choices doesn't mean they're good choices. But you could be a fat person going on holiday, or trying on different clothing and fashion and whatever, just taking control of your life in a really positive way, such as losing weight or making better food choices. But just showing the food that you eat and the chocolates that you ingest is not positive representation at all, and that's crazy.
these amazing nachos because we went to the hotel restaurant that we actually watched someone got fired in last time we were there, and we had a great redemption meal.
That's
Got
nice.
some
That looks
Caesar and
nice.
salmon. I had a fucking great day.
But I'm pretty sure Caesar salads are a lot higher in calories than you think. I think due to the dressings that they use. I could be mistaken completely. I'm not 100% on that. But also, when I went to America, and this was about, I don't know, 10 years ago, the portions that we got, because we were on a school trip, we were all stunned by the portions. I mean, we went to a restaurant for breakfast, and we all ordered something, because why wouldn't we? And then when they came out, we were all just stunned at the portion sizes for the breakfast. We didn't get through any, like, we didn't finish any of it. I don't think anybody finished one of their breakfasts. And then the following day, we only ordered like one between the two of us. So the portions are huge in America. It was quite shocking, and that was about 10 years ago, yeah.
My fat body.
She would have a much better day in her body if she wasn't as big as she is. But if she says she's happy, then we can't do anything but believe her, I suppose. But I don't believe her. I think if she could take a pill and wake up tomorrow as 120 pounds, then she 100% would, and she would 100% feel much better. And there's no reason that you have to be 120 pounds, of course not. But you also don't need to be 320 pounds either. And you would be much happier if you were healthier, lighter on your feet, and just weren't in chronic pain. And I don't believe anybody that is as big as she is, or any of the women in this video, I don't believe they're not in chronic pain. Because being that heavy is bad for your joints. But that's their life. They can make their own choices, and whether they're good or bad choices, that's just down to them. But that's the final video that we've got for today. Please let me know down in the comments if you liked this video. If you didn't like it, let me know how you think I could do better. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye guys.